Good morning, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Levi Nolasco. I'm a top realtor here in sunny Las Cruces, New Mexico. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you find this information helpful to you, and feel free to join my Facebook group called Moving to Las Cruces, where I connect people that have made the move to those that want to make the move. That way you can ask questions that a lot of times realtors like myself can't answer. This morning I found one of the best backdrops for the video. If you're wondering where this beautiful house is that I'm shooting the video from, it's 4234 Purple Sage Drive in Sonoma Ranch here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Today's video, I wanted to go over some commonly held myths that I still hear about the real estate industry. So here are a few myths that I hear often in real estate and the truth. Myth number one, I hear this all the time: I don't have 20% to put down on a house, so I can't buy a house right now. The whole 20% down thing is a thing of the past. That's 100% not needed in this current market. There's actually loan types such as FHA or even conventional that start at about 3.5% down. So for me, what I see most of the time here in our local market is a 3.5% down payment. It's 100% doable to buy a house with 3.5% down payment. And actually, to go a little bit beyond that, there's a way to buy a house without putting any money down. I'm not going to give all my secrets like I say in my other videos. Okay, myth number two, the only upfront cost is the down payment. So the down payment actually isn't due until closing, so you don't put any money out of your pocket for the down payment until you get to the day of closing. Things that are going to be an out-of-pocket expense are going to be, number one, your home inspection. Plan for at least $350 up to maybe $500 or $600 depending on what type of inspections you're doing. The figure I just gave you is only for a general home inspection. If you're getting a loan, you have your appraisal costs. Sometimes you can pay that at closing, but most of the time it's due up front. Again, that's about maybe $650 up to $800 depending on the size of the house and your lender. Okay, another myth, and this one I heard on the news the other day. They were covering, I guess, some big convention where this lady was recommending people to rent and saying that Grant Cardone tells people that they should rent too and that they don't necessarily have to buy a house. I had 100% disagree with this person that was speaking at this conference. I think that's a really bad thing to tell people, and I think she's not an expert in real estate and doesn't know what she's talking about. So think about it. If you rent for your entire life, you're putting money into somebody else's account forever. So you're buying the house for whoever you're renting from, or if you're renting an apartment, you're buying that apartment for the person that you're leasing from. So it's never yours. It's never going to turn into generational wealth. It's never going to be able to be passed down to friends or family to help them build their wealth. It's just 100% of your money going to somebody else's bank account. So I don't agree with her. I don't agree with Grant Cardone on many things. I actually kind of think Grant Cardone's a bit of a douche. Most of the stuff that he talks about is mainly to sell books and to sell podcasts. I don't actually think a lot of his stuff is real world applicable. When you own your own house, you're basically putting money into your own account to be taken out at a future date. You're paying, $1,500 to $5,000 a month or more, and that's going into your account, and that's growing your money too. So your money's working for you versus renting where your money's working for somebody else. Another myth that I hear: what's the best time of year to buy? I think there's benefits and drawbacks to buying and selling at different times of the year for just about everybody. There's always some type of benefit to buying at the current time of the year. For instance, a lot of people say that they don't want to buy in the spring, maybe because school's back in session or they're back to work and get really busy with life, which I understand, but springtime is a really good time to buy because that's when prices of houses start to stagnate and go down a little bit. So usually there's always a benefit to buying. But if you do have the luxury of having more time, then you can get a little more strategic about it. And I can of course help you with that if you want. So there's some other things I want to tell you about that may be holding you back. So I just want to clear the air on these too. Earnest money in New Mexico is a lot different than any other state. So usually in other states, you put a certain percentage of the house down as your earnest money amount. In New Mexico, it's customary to put down $500 of earnest money for any house that's $300,000 and below. And on the other side, any house that's $300,000 and above, it's customary to put about $1,000 to $1,500 of earnest money on that. My view on earnest money in New Mexico is a lot different than if I was a realtor in another state. New Mexico does a lot to protect buyers and consumers in our state, so it's very hard to lose earnest money. It's definitely doable, but it's really hard. So to me, as a realtor, earnest money really doesn't matter. To sellers, it does matter sometimes. The more that they see down, the more confident they feel about accepting your offer. So there is something to be said about that. But I can tell you it really doesn't matter, in my opinion. I've sold $1 million house with $20 of earnest money because both the buyer, the seller, and the other realtor understood that it really didn't make a difference. And of course, the sale went through, everything was fine. The buyers received their $20 earnest money payment back to them at the time of closing. So that's something, and it doesn't even have to be $500. Let's say you want to keep a lot of money in the bank and you don't want to spend everything to purchase a new house. Talk to your realtor and ask about an earnest money amount that works for you. After all, everything in the contract as a buyer is ultimately your decision at the end. We're just here to advise you. Okay, so earlier I mentioned there is a way to purchase a house with almost nothing coming out of your pocket. So basically the gist of it is you offer a little bit more to include your closing costs and all of your customary costs to be covered at closing. That way the only out-of-pocket expenses you have are your inspections and your appraisal. There's more that goes into it, but again, you can buy a house with almost no money coming out of your pocket. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.